Colorado means something for sure. Denver might mean something. Because now I'm thinking about when my dad was still alive, he had a terminal lung disease called idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. And so what happens with that disease is your lungs start scarring over, and then they eventually turn kind of to cement. And then you can't breathe anymore. And you will either usually have a heart attack and die, or you'll choke. It's a terminal disease. Once you get diagnosed it, there's no cure. And once you're diagnosed, there's an average 3 to 5 year life expectancy. And so with that disease, you're just kind of chugging along, and then all of a sudden it's like a nosedive, and then you usually pass. So my dad would go to the National Jewish Hospital in Denver every year to see how far his disease has progressed. My dad outlived his life expectancy by many years. Like when they did it in hindsight, looking back at old pictures and stuff, MRIs or whatever it is, CAT scans, they figured he probably had it for maybe even 12 years. So we got a very long goodbye with my dad. It was hard. So I'm just talking about tough things, but I'm okay. Yeah. And long goodbyes are very amazing gifts, but they're bittersweet. Bittersweet. So one of the last times he went to Denver, and those days my dad had to do all these extensive tests, walking on a treadmill, do all these things that are just absolutely exhausting. And then you're in Denver, so the air is very thin, it's hard to breathe. So he was on a breathing machine. That was the beginning of him starting his breathing machine he had to take with him. And the previous year, my mother had just come with him. And there was this one part of the hospital where there's a ramp. My mother couldn't get my father's wheelchair up the ramp. So this next year, she had asked my sister and I to go with and just help them throughout the long, hard day of tests. And so we went. We flew out in the morning. We were going to spend all day at the hospital and then fly back at night after everything was done. And we spent all day at the hospital. Very long, by hour 8, I have a picture of everybody just being silly. My sister was lip sync singing into my dad's oxygen machine to make him laugh. And we were just trying to get through the day. Then it was over. We took a cab to and from the hospital to the airport. We took a cab back. And we were waiting to check in for the Denver airport. My dad was so tired. He was in a wheelchair, an airport wheelchair. And we were waiting at the sky cab area. And my dad had a $10 bill in his hand. And we were going to check in our suitcases in the sky cap, so my dad didn't have to wait so long. And it was kind of in the the parking garage kind of area. That's hard to explain. We were standing there. It was our turn next in line. And up rolls this black SUV Escalade or something, all tinted windows. Pulls right up to where they're not supposed to be, driving. Pulls right up, parks their car right in the front. Immediately, their SUV's exhaust is now blowing in my dad's face. And this person comes out, with a "don't you know who I am" attitude. I had never seen this person. I didn't know who this person was. There was other people behind us in line, who were like, who the fuck is this person? Just butt right in line. Their exhaust blowing in my dad's face. I look, he got a $50 in his hand. Yep. Oh, this dude's rich and famous. Yep. That gives him front row pass to shit on everybody. Yeah. My dad only had a $10 bill. He just cuts in line, checks in, tips the dude $50, turns around and looks at all of us with the smarmiest look on his face. I got a plane to catch. My sister, she was so mad. She yelled back at that dude, "So do we!" He takes his bag out of his carry-on or whatever out of his thing, sends his car away, breezes off. They say, next, here comes my dad, who had that dude's exhaust blowing in my dad's face. I say, who was that? He told me the name. I don't remember the name. He said an actor from the series Empire. I said, I'd never seen that show. That's the day I decided I hate money. That's why I get into electric vehicles. That's why I follow Tesla. Because they're not making cars that pollute exhaust. My dad spent his whole life in the car business. Towards the end of his career, he bought cars at auto auctions. And so the auto auctions, it would be kind of like this indoor area, and they drive the cars in, and then they just auction them off real fast. And my dad would buy used cars for a bunch of different dealerships here in Minnesota, in the Twin Cities. And he had talked to that doctor, and he said, do you think, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Idiopathic means we don't know what caused this. My dad said, do you think it may have been all the car exhaust I breathed in at those auctions? The doctor said it could be. So Spirit says, if you wield a mighty sword and you wield it hurtfully, willy-nilly, Spirit will take that fucking sword away from you.